Let's try not to fall today. What's up, beautiful people? Happy Tuesday. Welcome back to another week. We have kicked off this conversation around energy laws. So let's keep it going. What's up? Hey, ladies. Hey. So a couple of you sent in your homework to me. Thank you so much. That was incredible. I'm so happy you did the homework and shared it with me without me asking. So thank you. That was awesome. That is awesome. I appreciate it. Um, and I hope that you can see the value, if you've actually tried it, if you can see the value in having something handy to pretty much automatically shift your energy state. Okay. So those of the rest of you, you can drop in the comments. The homework was to make a list of things that you enjoy, things that make you happy, a list of simple things that you can do, say, listen to, whatever, a list of things that make you happy so you can use it on a dime. They're just like school. You can do a makeup assignment. Sure. You know what? There's no time frame. There's no cutoff for this, okay? Because this is a lifelong tool. So you can make it up. Make your list. Make sure it's stuff that's realistic and easy and something you can just grab like that and switch your mood. So if you're feeling down or sad or whatever, I was just talking with a friend who sent me their list, and his list is pretty dope. Like he has listened to like something educational, speeches or book or something like that, meditate. What else did he have on there? It's on here. I can't like look at it at the same time, but he had some really cool stuff on there, and I was like, yeah, that's a good one. That's a really good one. And I was just saying, hey, I have to do my LadyWake power pose because I'm tired, y'all, but I gotta be here for this because I'm here for this. You know what I'm saying? Like this is me. This is what I do, and I thoroughly enjoy it. So I have to make sure that I set myself up for success every Tuesday so I can be here to deliver. And that's all a part of knowing yourself, knowing what you need, knowing what gets you through, what gets you to that next level. This thing just don't want to stay up, huh? Today and last week. Let's see. My little tripod will stay up. Okay. So last week we talked about one of the most important things in terms of law of attraction, which is creating your set point. So you're always attracting, we're always attracting, like, meets like, whether it's good or bad or anywhere on the scale, it doesn't matter. We're always attracting what we are, who we are, what we're feeling, what we're thinking. We attract all those things, right? So creating your set point gives you a kind of general place to be in while you're attracting. So if you're generally feeling pretty good, you generally attract pretty good things and vibes and other people who are feeling pretty good. If you're generally feeling crappy, then generally that's what you start to attract. And after a while, it becomes a habit. And then because this law of attraction, you add momentum to it. And the momentum is why it's so important to create your set point in a high vibrational energy field, because momentum kicks in after a while and it makes it easier for you to feel the same feelings and think the same thoughts and do the same things. That's why it's so hard to get over any addiction, any of them. Try to stop eating sugar for a while after you eat sugar on a regular basis. The mess is hard. It's hard. You stop drinking coffee after you do it for a while, you get a headache. You have side effects basically. So If momentum kicks in to something that's already not so easy to do, now it makes it easier and easier for you to keep picking up that sugar, for you to keep thinking those negative thoughts, for you to keep assigning the same meaning to that whatever happened, for you to keep replaying that thing that upset you over and over again, for you to keep attracting those toxic people into your life, keep attracting that disagreement with your partner, on and on and on. Okay? That's how momentum works against us. But momentum can work for us as well. It's always working for us. Y'all know that. I'm not literal with that one, because everything we do, good or bad, works in our favor. We're going to learn from it, or we're going to repeat it, right? Or we're going to enjoy life. It's up to us, but it's all for us. So when we create a set point that is elevated vibrationally, then momentum kicks in after a while, and it's easier and easier to keep this elevated set point because you have the momentum. Now you keep thinking those great thoughts. You keep looking for reasons to smile. You keep looking for ways to be of service or to help someone else or to make someone else feel good about themselves. You just keep looking for reasons to stay elevated, and it works so much easier because momentum has kicked in. Now, I took you through that process last week to understand creating your set point and what that can do for you, but also to write down your list and create a list of things that can take you from, feeling kind of or feeling crappy to feeling good, to laughing, to smiling for some. It doesn't have to be along the same lines. Like, it doesn't have to be the same subject matter is what I should say. But whatever subject matter takes you higher, that's the subject you want to get on right away when you don't feel good. So if I'm having a crappy day, and I don't even know why I would be having a crappy day. It doesn't happen often anymore. So it's like, oh, maybe I'm having a hard day with the baby. And I'm just like, I'm tired. This kid won't stop yelling at me today, and she won't take a nap, and she won't eat her food, and blah, 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 blah. And I'm exhausted. I have to really, what I usually do is put on some music and have a dance party in the middle of the day with the baby, because I'm going to need her to reset her checkpoint too, to not irritate mommy mode, So that's the thing I'll do at a drop of a dime. Like, no, we need to shake this off. Let's dance. I will also have a glass of wine in the middle of the day and won't think twice about it. And it feels amazing. And I'm happy. And I know it's just in my head, but I do feel better. I'm like, oh, yeah. I'm not advising that. Don't use substances, but it's something that makes me happy, and I do it, and I enjoy it. I turn on comedy. Boom. Laughing. Just saying. You say that's on, period. The music. Yeah. Okay. So that's why you need this list. So you don't have to think about it. So when something happens and you're like, oh, I'm not feeling so great, if you've been practicing it, it just pops up. What's easiest to do right now? Is it easy for me to meditate? Ooh, take a nap. That's one of my favorite things to do. If I'm feeling overwhelmed, ooh, a nap. When I tell you I will be all the way reset, honey, when I wake up, I see rainbows and sunshine. Naps help turn my life around. So find your thing and practice it. Practice multiple things so it's easy, so you get the momentum flowing. And when that momentum is flowing, you can just check yourself into good feeling emotions. You can check yourself out of good feeling emotions too, but I'm encouraging you to check yourself into good feeling emotions only. So only practice feeling good. So I also talked last week about dealing with or helping someone who you care about, because what happens is with things like law of attraction, people really get invested in learning about it and how you do this and all these secrets that have been held back from the masses and blah, blah, blah. The list goes on and on. So people get caught up in what it is and how you can just think your thoughts and create something. And some people think that's ridiculous and don't believe in it. But I think a lot of people lately are starting to believe it and understand how that can work. They understand it and they believe that it can work, but generally people don't believe it can work for them. It's like, I can see how it worked for that person, but I don't know how it can work for me. So that's another reason I'm explaining every little piece to you, because I want you to know that it is real and it can work for you. And if you decide to practice, it will work for you, hands down. Okay. So that list is a big deal in getting your energy up, your vibration up. Now, when you are encountering somebody you care about and they are in a crappy mood and you are in an elevated mood and you really want to stay there, it's hard sometimes, if you're not practiced, to help them elevate without being pulled down into their bad mood. So the one thing that I think so many people leave out, I told you, it's the thoughts, it's the emotions, it's the feelings, right? And then a part of your thoughts is the meaning that you assign to things. So if your spouse is having a bad day and they come home slamming doors and drawers and shit and just looking all frustrated, not talking to you, blah, blah, blah. Now, you might be that kind of person who takes it personal. You think this is about me. Maybe something happened that morning. You think, oh, she mad at me because I forgot to take the garbage out or whatever. I don't know. But, whatever. You just think this is about me somehow. That's the meaning you've assigned to their emotions. You don't even really know their emotions, but to their actions, because you're assuming what they might be feeling, right? But that meaning makes you feel what? Upset too, right? Either you want to fight too, or it makes you feel bad or guilty because you forgot to do something. It makes you feel bad, some negative emotion, usually. But the truth is, somebody just cut them off in traffic and it pissed them off because of how close it was. And they had already just had a long day and they're tired. And so they're just taking this frustration off on the doors and cabinets. Like, nobody's thinking about you. And when I tell you guys, I listen to so many people talk about their lives, talk about what they think their problems are, their feelings, and their lives in general. And when I tell you all, people are generally not thinking about you as much as you think they are. They are not. I don't care who you are. They're not thinking about you unless they think there is a real problem. Usually, people's problems are about themselves. They're in their own head, messing up their own lives by themselves. You just happen to be around. And sometimes you get caught up in stuff because you're around, but usually it's not about you. It has nothing to do with you. I don't care if it's your spouse, your parents, your children, your boss. Usually it is not about you, okay? It is them in their own mind, in their own heart, doing their own thing. And sometimes you get caught up in a crossfire, but it's still not really about you. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. It's not about me. Just approach life like that. When you meet new people, when you are dealing with the people you love, just approach everybody like that. Every situation, I should say. Because generally, it's not about you. Unless you did something direct, like you directly hurt this person's feeling on purpose. Maybe you cussed them out yesterday and they mad at you because of that. Something you said, like that's pretty clear, right? But mostly nobody's thinking about you. So when people get upset, when they're irritable, when they are acting a fool, acting out, acting like they got bipolar or something, they might. It's a thing. But when they're acting a fool, just say, okay, you want to fight, so I'm gonna go over here and let you fight with yourself because this doesn't have anything to do with me. I mean, it doesn't. It usually doesn't. So that's just a tip. But the meaning we assign to things is everything. Is so important. And it's most important in our personal relationships because we have I should say, because our like our romantic relationships and our parental child relationships are the most important relationships to us. So if there's something really off in your romantic relationship, generally it throws you off balance. Like it makes you upset, it makes you scared, it makes you irritable, whatever the case is. It throws you off balance and brings in negative emotion. If something is wrong with your, parent-child relationship, it throws you off balance, brings in negative emotion. So these are the relationships that are the ones that really get people. Like you think you're trudging along, you're doing well, you vibrating high, you getting it in, everything's flowing, you got this momentum going. And then your spouse gets mad at you for something and you have this huge fight and now you feel like shit. Okay, that happens. But you don't just feel like shit for a while and then, work through stuff or talk through stuff, move on. No, you linger on in it. The next day you still feel like shit. Y'all having the same argument over and over again. Now you're creating a new pattern. And the more you do it, the more you think about it, the more you talk about it, the more you relive it in your mind, you're creating momentum for this new set point, which will be feeling like shit because your emotions are so strong around this spousal relationship or around this parent-child relationship. Your emotions are super strong. So if you're that emotionally invested, then it prompts you to think about it over and over again. It prompts you to talk about it over and you telling everybody. You got to tell your sister, you got to tell your brother, you telling your mom, you telling your friends. You telling everybody about this story that does not serve you. It doesn't bring positive emotions. It makes you feel like crap and you just keep reliving this over and over again. You create momentum that way. So the meaning that you give to that situation, you're doing fine, floating along, flying high, and then you have a disagreement with your spouse. You have a huge fight, not just a regular disagreement, but a huge fight. Now, if you give meaning to that experience, if the meaning you give to that experience is that it was a huge fight and it will change the scope of our relationship, that's what it is, right? It was a huge fight. I don't know if we're going to make it. That's what it'll be. You can also give a meaning that's much smaller, like, okay, we had a disagreement. We'll cool off and get through it tomorrow. We'll tackle that another time. Okay, clearly that didn't work out. Sometimes you gotta laugh at yourself. Okay, failed that conversation. Let's take a beat and we'll come back and try again. And the meaning that you assign is the difference between creating new momentum in this hugely negative emotional pattern versus having a dip, just a little dip, and getting back to your higher vibration faster. Am I making sense to y'all right now? You want the ability to bounce back as quickly as possible. We talked about emotional fitness last week. The ability to bounce back, to be fit, meaning at any moment you're ready to go. You're ready to move. You're ready to make change. Okay? Thank you for responding. I see y'all on Facebook. What's up? What's up? You want the ability to bounce back. So you have to decide what meaning you're going to assign to any situation, every situation. Okay? Them not eating your food doesn't necessarily mean you're a bad cook. Her falling asleep don't mean she don't want to have sex with you. Like, just stop it. Stop. Usually, we're torturing ourselves with these meanings that we don't really want. Like, if you don't want it to mean that, stop assigning it. If you don't want that in your life, don't assign that in your life. And sometimes, like, don't get me wrong. Sometimes, it just is what it is. And it's the truth. And let me just say, there are a lot of things that are true in life. There are a lot of things that are true that happen, and you can't deny you like that happened. That is the absolute truth. That is what happened, and that's why I assigned that meaning. And sometimes that's just a fact. That happened, is true, and that's what it meant. But just because something is true does not mean you have to have it in your experience. Just because something is true does not mean you have to have it in your experience. So something can be true and it can be a thing for many other people, but it does not have to be a thing in your personal life. Okay? You get that? I know you've met somebody, and I'm gonna use this example because it comes up so often. Someone is married or in a serious relationship, their spouse cheats. And for one person, that means the relationship is over. That means they didn't love them. That means they are a horrible, person and someone who can't be trusted and blah, blah, blah. And for another person in that same situation, that means they had a bump in the road, they got curious, they made a mistake. It does not impact the life of their relationship. They'll work around it and keep it moving. I know you've heard of both of these examples. That's a very common example of assigning meaning. And it happened. It happened both times in both situations. It happened. It's a fact. It happened. They admitted to it. But that doesn't mean you have to assign the worst meaning possible, okay? Cut yourself a break. Don't torture yourself. Sometimes it's something that happened and it was really bad and it's something you don't want to experience. You don't want in your experience. You don't want that in your life. You don't want that in your field of vision. That's a thing too. You can ignore the mess out of something and make it go away. Okay, what if I can't ignore it? Well, if you can't ignore it, you go general. You go general. You just have to be super general about it. Well, that didn't feel good. What would I rather have happened? I would have rather not been whatever case was something really horrible. I would have rather not been sexually assaulted. That's a thing. That's really horrible. And it happens to so many people. It's like it happened. That's horrible. How can I not be mad about this? How can I not hold on to this anger about? How can I not tell people about this? Of course, I would have rather that not have happened. What's even more general though, because sometimes we can't even get that far. Y'all can help me out. Even more general is what people say it all the time. If I say could it have been worse, it can always be worse, but that's not gonna work because that just pisses you off, right? It pisses me off. So what's even more general is I'm okay. Okay. This is how I talk to myself too. Okay, maybe I'm not okay right now, but I know that because I'm still alive, I can be okay in time. Like I know that this doesn't have to define me. It feels like it does right now, but I know that it doesn't have to. So that gives me hope that one day I'll feel better about the whole situation to the point that it won't define me. And when I say I talk to myself like this in real life, because sometimes shit shows up in life and you just have no idea where it came from and why and how you're going to get through it. And sometimes you feel like crap no matter what you say. You feel like crap. And the truth is the universe responds to your feelings. It responds to your vibration, not your words. So sometimes you have to talk yourself into a general place so that your vibration can get more general and not be stuck in a negative space, even when it hurts like hell. Like, damn, she left me. That shit hurts. This hurts right now. But what do I know? What do I know? What I know is the only thing that's permanent in life is change. I know that. I know that things always change in one way or another. I didn't think this would change. Like, I didn't think our relationship would change. But the truth is, change is a constant. This I know. Okay. Well, if change is a constant, that means that I won't always have to feel this way. I won't always have to feel this bad. Okay. If I won't always have to feel this bad, that means it's a possibility that maybe one day I might feel better. I might feel better than better. I might feel good one day down the road. And then you ask yourself important questions. We had I don't know how many weeks there was, how many weeks ago, a whole conversation about questions. What can I do right now to help myself feel better about this? This is a process, y'all. And that's why I'm trying to show you the process to being emotionally fit. It's practice. It's practice. Sometimes things look impossible, but it's practice. And once you practice and get the momentum going, you'll pull yourself up like that. It'll be no big deal. You'll pull yourself up and you'll be able to be around other people who are down in the dumps and struggling, and you will not go down with them. You'll be able to be in their presence. You'll be able to sit with them and love on them and give them some of your energy if they are open to it. You'll be able to be there in the worst of times and still vibrate on a higher level, not lose your own momentum. And that's a huge deal. When I say that's a huge deal, that is a huge deal. That's the difference between a happy life and a life full of struggle and pain. It is a huge deal. If you can sit in the midst of your child having a full out temper tantrum, I don't mean like a toddler. I mean like a teenager type of tantrum, like cussing the world out type tantrum, cutting their hair off and getting 3 nose rings, like dumb shit that teenagers do. If you can sit through that in your strength, in your fitness, and maybe you'll dip here and there, but bounce back quickly, keep your momentum going on your high vibration, I guarantee you that teenager will have no choice but to straighten up. Because they can't, the point is attention. The point is to get attention, to get somebody to agree with you on your level so that they come down with you if you're feeling bad, or they come up with you if you're feeling good. So when people show up in your experience and they feel like crap and they're going on and on or poking at you, when your spouse show up bothering you, saying shit they know it's going to piss you off, can you take it? Can you handle it? Or you going to fight back? You're going to start talking mess about their parents too. Like, what you going to do? Because if you fight back, then there's a fight. Now you've created this thing. And I say, yes, you've created it. It doesn't matter who started it. If you agree, if you step in the ring, when the bell rings, look, you're in the fight. So it's you too. You can't put the onus on one person. If they ready to fight, they chuck the grenade at you, you take that motherfucker, put the pen back in it, and just give it right back to them. No, I'm good. Come about your business. You can have that. That's yours, because it is theirs anyway. That's the idea of emotional fitness. We're practicing so it can be emotionally fit. Okay. I feel like I'm leaving something out. Are y'all feeling me in terms of elevating your strength emotionally so that you can help other people? Because I'm telling you, it's the people that's closest to you that's gonna get you. It's your parents, it's your best friend, your spouse, your kids, your lover. Like, these are the people who are going to get you. My best friend upstairs in my house right now visiting me. So I'm going to go play with her in a few minutes. But like, she's been my BFF. I don't know, 16 years now, something like that. That's crazy. And no, I'm lying. Why I say 16 years? It's been almost 20 years. Jeez, that's crazy. It's been almost 20 years. And in 20 years, you think we haven't had a disagreement? What we thought might have been a falling out before? Like, yo, things get deep when you have close relationships. The people closest to you are the ones who can really get in under your skin and hurt you. So you got to know how to navigate. Thank y'all for your response. I see you. Thank you. Thank you. That's what's up. Something you work on every day. That's beautiful. We got to put in that work because it's the most important work. Once you have the emotional fitness, you can pretty much do whatever. You have the foundation. So you build on that. You can do whatever. You just got to create that momentum in the way you want it to go. Yes, real friends go through it and bounce back. That's real. Absolutely. Absolutely. And most of them bounce back, but it's important to bounce back without trauma, ongoing open wounds and such. Emotional fitness to get you there. Okay. So it's not what you say, it's what you feel. It's not even what you do, it's what you feel. Okay. It's what you think. Yes. And it's what you feel. It's not what you think by itself, it's what you feel. You can think something, one thing, and feel something different. It happens like that. But when you have that mind-heart connection, when they're in sync, ooh, now you're making stuff happen. Now your manifestations are showing up like crazy in the way you want it, things the way you want them to be. So that's what we're practicing, y'all. Get to practice. Those of you who didn't do your homework, go ahead and write out that list of things that help you feel good. Write it down. Practice it. The next time you have a moment where you're not feeling great, a moment, pull something from your list. Practice it. You have to practice. Practice, practice, practice. The other thing you have to practice, and I am all the way open to you sending me your stuff. So just message me if you want to send me your list. If you want to share with me an experience that you've had where you assigned a meaning to something and it didn't work out in your favor. Or maybe you assigned a meaning to something and it really worked out for you because you did something different. I want to hear about it. So if you have an experience like that in this next week, before or by next Tuesday, share with me in advance. You can share with me while we're on here live. I just want to hear about it. I want to hear examples from you all that you're really putting this stuff to use and see it working for you, because it's easy to see it working for other people. I can tell you stories all day, but it doesn't mean nearly as much as it would if you did it for yourself and if you could see it for yourself. Because once you see it, then I won't have to convince you to believe it. Okay. I know people always say, I'll believe it when I see it, but I need you to believe it first. It's a little thing called faith. You got to believe enough to give it a shot. Okay. Try it out. And then after a little time, you'll prove to yourself that you control your own reality. You'll prove to yourself that you can manifest what you want. You'll prove to yourself that you do indeed have the power to shift your emotions at any time. You'll prove it to yourself. You then prove to yourself, and we'll talk more about this next week. You'll prove to yourself that you can control your environment way more than you think you can. Meaning, the traffic when you're trying to get somewhere, meaning things flowing in your favor, meaning the people who come around you. Because sometimes they're just some negative people in our lives, and it's hard to be around them if you don't know how to control your environment. But if you know, let me tell you, they will show up on their best behavior in your presence because you have emotional fitness and you know how to control your environment with your vibration. But we'll do more of that next week, y'all. Until then, keep practicing. Message me if you need me. And all love. Peace.